Imagine this. A young boy grows up in a simple home in Indonesia. Life around him is not always easy, but inside his heart, there is something powerful. A dream of a better future. A dream of freedom, dignity, and a country where people can live with pride. That boy's name was Sukarno. As he grew older, that dream never disappeared. It only became stronger, shaping the path he would one day follow. One day, his dream would help change his country forever. As you listen, notice the new words. Words like dream, courage, freedom. This story helps you improve your listening skills, and maybe it will inspire your own dream too. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Carried a Nation in His Heart. Picture this moment. Surabaya, East Java. The year is 1901. A baby is born. His parents name him Kusno, but he becomes very sick. He has a high fever. He cannot eat properly. His family is afraid they might lose him. So, they decide to change his name. They call him Sukarno. They believe this new name will bring him strength and protection. And slowly, he begins to recover. Little Sukarno grows up. He's not the strongest boy physically, but his mind is bright, like a star that refuses to fade. He grows up surrounded by Javanese culture and traditions, moving between different family environments during his childhood. And in that world, he watches the wayang, the traditional shadow puppet shows, stories of heroes. Stories of struggle between good and evil. Stories filled with meaning, emotion, and hope. These stories stay in his heart, forever. Sukarno's father is a teacher. His mother is from Bali. She is gentle, and she teaches him about beauty, culture, and balance in life. As he grows older, Sukarno begins to learn many languages: Javanese, Dutch, Indonesian. And later, he is also exposed to English and other languages, not just for education, but for connection. Because deep inside, he wants something more. He wants to understand people. He wants to speak to everyone. He wants to share his dream. Think about this. When you were young, what did you dream about? Sukarno dreamed of one thing: a free Indonesia. But in 1901, Indonesia did not yet exist as an independent country. There was only the Dutch East Indies, a colony under foreign rule where important decisions were made far away and many local voices were not heard. Even as a child, Sukarno could sense this reality. He felt it quietly, deeply, in his heart. He was only a boy, but inside him, something powerful was already growing. Hope. And hope is powerful. Chapter 2. The Quiet Fire. When Dreams Meet Reality. Now imagine Sukarno as a teenager. He moves to Surabaya for his education. There, he lives in the house of a well-known political thinker, an activist, named Umar Said Chokro Aminoto. But this house is not ordinary. It is a meeting place of ideas. Leaders gather here. Thinkers, activists, people who believe that change is possible. They talk late into the night about justice, about freedom, about Indonesia's future. Sukarno listens quietly. He absorbs everything, and inside him, something begins to awaken. A quiet fire starts to grow, steady, deep, and powerful. He also experiences early personal life. He briefly marries Siti Otari, the daughter of Chokro Aminoto. But the marriage does not last long. Later in life, his personal relationships become more complex. Still, despite everything, one thing remains unchanged: his public dream. He later studies engineering in Bandung, but his real passion is not buildings or machines. It is people. It is words. It is ideas that can move a nation. In 1927, Sukarno takes a decisive step. He helps establish a political movement known as the Indonesian National Party. Its goal is simple but powerful: independence. But the Dutch colonial government sees this as a threat.
One night, everything changes. Police arrive.
Sukarno is arrested.
Think about this moment. You believe in something, right? You speak your truth.
And for that, you lose your freedom. Sukarno is placed in a small prison cell. But even there, his mind remains unchained. He writes, he reflects, he continues to dream, even bigger than before. When he appears in court, he does not ask for mercy. He speaks with calm strength. He declares, Indonesia deserves to be free. His words do not stay in that courtroom. They spread, quietly, like wind moving through grass, soft but unstoppable. After about a year, he is released, but freedom does not fully return. The authorities continue to monitor him closely. They fear the power of his voice. In 1933, he is arrested again. This time, he is sent far away, into exile. First to Flores, then to Sumatra.
Far from home,
Far from his people,
far from everything familiar.
but Sukarno does not break. He reads, he writes, he waits. Because he understands something deeply. Dreams do not die in silence. They grow. As you listen, notice how Sukarno uses simple, powerful language in his life and speeches. This is also a great way to improve your English. Short sentences, clear ideas, strong meaning. Chapter 3. The Storm Breaks, a Nation is Born.
Picture the world in 1942. War is everywhere.
The Japanese army enters Indonesia and pushes out the Dutch colonial rulers.
At first, Sukarno sees an opportunity.
He decides to work with the Japanese, hoping it might open a path toward Indonesian independence. But slowly, the truth becomes clear. The Japanese are not liberators. They are new rulers. They control the people. They demand forced labor. They bring suffering instead of freedom. Sukarno's heart becomes heavy, but he does not stop. He uses every moment, every speech, every gathering, to prepare his people for the future he believes in. Then comes June 1st, 1945. Sukarno stands before a group of leaders. He speaks for hours. His voice is tired, but his spirit is strong and unshaken. He introduces 5 principles for a new nation. He calls them Pancasila. 1. Belief in one God. 2. Just and civilized humanity. 3. The unity of Indonesia. 4. Democracy guided by wisdom through deliberation. 5. Social justice for all. These 5 principles become the foundation of a nation that does not yet fully exist. But the world is still in chaos. August 1945. Japan surrenders after World War II. Young Indonesian activists rush to Sukarno. Now, they insist, declare independence now. Sukarno is cautious. He fears the remaining Japanese forces and possible violence. He wants to protect his people from unnecessary bloodshed. But the young activists are determined. They bring him to a quiet place. They speak to him. They insist. They persuade. And on August 17, 1945, Sukarno stands before a small crowd. His voice is clear. We, the people of Indonesia, hereby declare the independence of Indonesia.
Just like that, a nation is born. Imagine this moment.
After more than a century of colonial rule, freedom. Sukarno becomes the first president of Indonesia. His close ally, Muhammad Hatta, becomes vice president. But freedom is not the end of struggle. The Dutch attempt to return and reclaim their former colony. Conflict begins. A long and difficult struggle follows, known as the Indonesian National Revolution. For 4 intense years, Indonesia fights to defend its independence. Sukarno faces pressure, political danger, and constant uncertainty. At times, his freedom of movement is restricted, and his leadership is under threat. But the world begins to watch closely. More countries start to recognize Indonesia's struggle and support its right to independence. Finally, in 1949, the Dutch officially recognize Indonesia's independence. Sukarno returns to Jakarta, the capital city. He is no longer a prisoner of colonial rule. He is the leader of a free nation. Think about this. What would you do if you achieved your biggest dream? For Sukarno, the dream had come true. But in many ways, the real journey was only just beginning.
Chapter 4. The Leader, Power, Pride and Pain.
Now imagine Jakarta in the 1950s. Sukarno is president. The country is free. But it is also fragile, diverse and full of challenges. Many islands, many languages, many religions. The question is overwhelming. How do you unite them all? Sukarno tries. He travels across Indonesia. He speaks to the people. He builds. He creates national symbols, monuments, flags, songs, and large public gatherings, all designed to strengthen unity. He wants Indonesians to feel proud, to feel connected, to feel like one nation. And for a time, it works. People admire Sukarno.
They call him Bung Karno, Brother Karno.
He is charismatic, a powerful orator. When he speaks, people listen. They feel inspired. They feel hope. They feel the spirit of a new nation. But governing is far more difficult than inspiring. Politics become complicated. Political parties clash. The economy struggles.
Tensions slowly rise.
Sukarno becomes increasingly frustrated. He believes that Western-style parliamentary democracy does not fully suit Indonesia's culture and diversity. He begins searching for a different system that he believes fits the nation better. On 1957, he introduces a new political concept called guided democracy. He explains his vision. Let us guide the nation together. Let us seek consensus. Let us move forward as one. Some support him. Others strongly oppose him. Vice President Muhammad Hatta eventually resigns, disagreeing with the direction the political system is taking. At the same time, regional tensions increase. Some areas demand greater autonomy. Rebellions begin to appear in different parts of the country. Sukarno responds with firmness. He relies more heavily on the military and declares martial law in order to preserve national unity. But challenges are not only political. In 1957, during a public visit to a school, an assassination attempt takes place. A grenade is thrown at Sukarno. He survives, but several children are killed. The incident shocks the nation and deeply affects him personally. Still, he continues. He nationalizes foreign-owned companies, increasing state control over key sectors of the economy. He launches ambitious national projects, large stadiums, hotels, and monuments, designed to represent strength, unity, and national pride. He wants Indonesia to appear strong, to feel strong, to believe in itself, and in many ways, it does. In 1962, Indonesia hosts the Asian Games. The world watches. Sukarno stands proudly as the leader of a nation gaining global attention. He also becomes a prominent international voice, speaking at the United Nations and advocating for newly independent countries while opposing colonialism. He emerges as one of the leading figures of the developing world. But inside Indonesia, serious problems continue to grow. Inflation rises sharply. The value of money declines. Everyday life becomes increasingly difficult for many people. Basic needs become harder to afford. Sukarno focuses on unity, identity, and national pride. But for many citizens, daily reality becomes a struggle. At the same time, his personal life is complex. He has multiple marriages and many children. His private life often attracts public attention and criticism. Some people admire him deeply, Others question his decisions. But through it all, Sukarno remains committed to one vision: a united, proud, independent Indonesia. As you listen, notice the emotional words: pride, struggle, hope, pain. These words help you feel the story and feel the English.
Chapter 5: The Sunset, Legacy, Lessons and Light.
Now, picture the mid-1960s. Indonesia is tense. The military is powerful. The Communist Party is growing. Sukarno tries to balance both forces, holding the country together. It is like walking on a tightrope. One wrong step, and everything could collapse. In 1965, that moment arrives. On September 30th, a group of soldiers kidnaps and kills 6 army generals. They claim they are protecting Sukarno. They claim they are preventing a coup. But the military, led by General Suharto, reacts immediately. They accuse the Communist Party of being behind the incident and claim it attempted to seize power. What follows becomes one of the darkest and most tragic periods in Indonesia's history. A massive wave of violence spreads across the country. Hundreds of thousands of people are killed. Many of them were innocent. Sukarno is deeply shaken. He tries to calm the nation, to restore unity, and to prevent total collapse. But his authority is rapidly weakening. The military becomes dominant.
Suharto's influence grows stronger every day.
In March 1966, Sukarno signs a political order transferring significant authority to Suharto. Some believe he signed under pressure. Others believe he had no real alternative left. 1 year later, in March 1967, Sukarno is officially removed from power. He is placed under house arrest. The man who once dreamed of freedom is no longer free. He lives in quiet isolation. His health deteriorates. His kidneys begin to fail. On June 21, 1970, Sukarno passes away at the age of 69. His funeral is simple, but thousands of people come to pay their respects. They remember the dreamer, the speaker, the founder of their nation. Think about this. What is a person's true legacy? Is it the power they held, the buildings they built, the authority they once commanded? Or is it the dream they planted in the hearts of others? Sukarno's dream was Indonesia. And today, Indonesia stands. It stands strong. It stands proud, and it is united by the principles he introduced in 1945, Pancasila. Belief in God, humanity, unity, democracy, justice. These ideas still guide Indonesia today. Sukarno was human. He made mistakes. He faced contradictions. He experienced both power and loss. But his courage, his vision, and his belief in his people remain part of history. As you listen, notice how this story ends not with an ending, but with reflection. And maybe with the beginning of your own. So, what can we learn from Sukarno's life? First, dreams matter. Sukarno dreamed of a free Indonesia when it still seemed impossible. He held on to that dream through hardship, through prison, through exile, and through war. Your dream matters too. Second, courage is not the absence of fear. Sukarno was afraid at times. He faced danger. He knew failure was possible. But he spoke anyway. He acted anyway. Courage is moving forward, even when fear exists inside you. Third, unity is powerful. Indonesia is made of hundreds of islands, hundreds of languages, and many religions. Sukarno believed they could become one nation. He was not perfect, and not everything he did was without criticism. But his belief in unity inspired millions of people. You can build unity too, in your family, your community, and your world. Fourth, legacy is about impact. Sukarno's life was complex. He had victories, he He had struggles. He faced admiration and criticism. But his impact changed history. And your life can change someone's world too.
Maybe not a nation.
But one person. And that is enough.
As you listen, notice how simple English can carry deep meaning.
Short sentences, clear words, big ideas. This story is not only about history, it is about learning English and learning life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. This helps us create more stories like this, more stories to inspire you, more stories to help you learn English, more stories to remind you that anything is possible. Now I want to ask you something. Think about this question. What is one dream you will never give up on? Write your answer in the comments below. Many people will watch this video, but only a few will take a moment to comment. Be one of them. I read every comment that you write, and I truly believe in your dream. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, keep going, and keep dreaming.